Sidharth, tell us about the key focus points, that you'd like the audience to take away from your talk.
So the audience was fairly engaging. When I was presenting, I could see most of them are fairly engaged. They were looking, they were nodding. So just your body movements tell you that the audience is engaged. I think the questions were interesting, but we all work with constraints of time, and you can ask only so many questions. But then the whole lot of them came out and asked me questions. So that was a pretty good experience.
So when we talk about, the use of AI ML in media, what opportunity do you see there?
Like I said, we are just scratching the surface in media industry right now. AIML has just made little bit of inroads in the industry. So from advertising to distribution to just wowing the consumer with the kind of personalized stuff that we can do, to the ultimately the holy grail, which is creativity. AIML will have its impact everywhere, and I think it's going to be sooner than later.
Yeah. And so what is your roadmap for the next year, 2020?
So the roadmap for 2020 is that, like I had said, I think the last 2 years we were defining the business objectives, we were prioritizing our use cases. So we continue to put some of the new use cases in place, and the ones that have worked, we are now scaling up. So I think it's a combination of identifying newer opportunities, building new models, and the models that we've already been scaling it up across the organization.
Sure. And tell us about some of the solutions, some of the initiatives that you're working on regarding AI ML and the results and the improvements that you have observed.
So I think the big solutions that we are working on the broadcast side are primarily right now related to maximizing our revenue, which essentially means that I have to maximize my rating in every show, every movie. And because there are so many nuances and constraints that we have that we work with, we are constantly changing that in our industry, and also in our industry the timing keeps changing. So while it's a standard 30-minute slot, but sometimes you take it up to 45 minutes. But the moment you take it up to 45 minutes, the machine doesn't know what to do. I mean, the machine has been built for a 30-minute model. So some of those things. So the primary focus right now is for revenue generation. In terms of, that's on our broadcast side. In terms of our digital side, it continues. So there are 3-4 different things. On one, we are looking at maximizing ROI on marketing. 2, we are looking at bettering the user experience more and more. So whether it's UI UX related changes, whether it's recommendation engine kind of things. And the third is sales. So how do I get more and more advertisers interested, which essentially means how do I segment my users more and more sharply, where I can just go to for the same user, I can go to 30 advertisers and not just one, because I have sliced the user differently in different kind of shows and their user patterns that we see.
Sure. And in terms of closing the skills gap, what would be your advice to your organizations?
I think the biggest gap that we have in skill today is it's not that we don't get the right people, because there are enough and more schools that have come up that are training people. And yeah, sure, we are competing with the Amazons and the Googles and the Facebooks of the world when I go out in the market and hire data scientists. I think more than the skill gap, it's a mindset gap. So we are still a very traditional industry. Media still doesn't appreciate, for example, traditional media doesn't appreciate the power of data as much as the newer age technology companies do it. So I think that the biggest skill gap in my mind to bridge is the mindset and not so much as a pure play skill. But yeah, skill is important. And I think the way the industry is gaining prominence, we will have to have many more learning institutions that will have to come up. Otherwise, we'll start seeing that demand-supply gap in this industry also very, very soon.
And how has been your experience at Cypher 2019?
Oh, well, I came in just today for my session because I was running something yesterday. It's much bigger than I had expected.
Yeah.
And I think I wish Cypher all the best. You guys should grow from strength to strength. And conferences like these are very, very important for the industry, for the constituents, for students, for anyone who wants to be in this industry. And like I said, I hope it goes bigger and better every year.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
My pleasure.